Pick yourself up, dust that shit off your shoulders. Get yourself together, you the closer. Breathe, gain your composure. Why?
This shit ain't over till it's over.
Yeah!
Lauryn Hill has a line that says, how you gonna win when you ain't right within? Have you heard that bar before?
Of course.
So at first, maybe you went through a period where your energy wasn't right within. What are some things that's helped you be able to manifest the things that you've been able to manifest?
It's not even earlier. I still do. I still struggle within. And I don't think that's anything that ever goes away. I think that's part of like the human journey. Every day you wake up, you kind of gotta fight off doubt. You gotta fight off insecurity. You gotta fight off all these things so you could be peaceful. I've accomplished a lot while feeling like shit at times, but I know I could do a lot more. I've done a lot of this shit dealing with my own internal shit and dealing with my own shit that I've been causing through life, my own messes I've been having to clean up, and I've accomplished all this. So imagine what I could do if I'm at 100%. That's how you gonna win if you ain't right within is. It's like whatever you think you're getting done now and you're not well, you could do 100 times more. And if you ain't getting shit done, it's like you could be seeing the flip side of that. But it's very hard to do when shit ain't right inside of there. You feel
It's
me?
like Steph Curry playing with a sprained ankle versus Steph Curry not playing with a sprained ankle. It's like, that's
right.
The idea. You know what I mean? Like, imagine.
Right. It's like, he gave you 20, but this would have been a 60 night if he was right.
For sure.
You really have to sit and get to the root of it. There's a problem tree. You got fruit and you got roots. And a lot of us just eat the fruit, so that's kind of what we tend to.
Come on, man.
It's like, you know, you gotta get to the root.
Welcome everybody to a very special episode of Connection is Magic. We are in Vallejo with my man, LaRussell.
Yeah.
Bro. It's so good to meet you, man. First of all, man, let me just say, you got the best laugh in the rap game or all of music, bro. I'll start there. You always say it's different, right? And I think one of the hardest things in life is sometimes, like, you know, you feel different, but we got this need to belong. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you're out, you know, it's like you see the pack over here and you're like, man, I kind of want to be with that pack, but, like, I know I'm built different. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So how can you encourage people that kind of feel different to sort of embrace it versus, like, being uncomfortable about it?
Man, perspective shift. Like, once people get over the thing being different, it's usually hella embrace that come with it. You know, it's like when you see a fire-ass new car and you've never seen it on the road. Like, you know, sometimes we driving and we like, nigga, what is that? That's because it's different. Right? You don't say that to the same old Corolla that you see all the time. No, not the Corolla. I fuck with Corolla. But it's like, you don't say that.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
When you see something different, it's like, ugh, what is that? And that's something to embrace. That's not nothing to be ashamed about. It's like, yeah, it is. You feel me? But it takes a little while to get there, but once you get there, it's home. You feel me?
But sometimes those other cars, the Audi's not talking shit to the Corolla because it's different though. Sometimes people can do that though, right?
Yeah.
So how do you silence those voices? And there's that side of it too.
You can't silence something. You shouldn't want to. It's gonna happen your whole life. Your entire life, you're gonna have that. It just teaches you to persevere. You feel me? Keep on going. Keep on going. Like, you know, you could live your whole life trying to shut people up, or you could just kind of do your thing and let them say whatever they gonna say. And some days it's gonna be bothersome. Some days it's gonna be harder than the other days, but go. Stay focused on the goal. And you just gotta focus on the doing. Simple as that. The person who said something usually has never got as much done as a person who was doing something. You know, there's people who spend time talking about things, and there's people who spend time doing things. They're in different places in the world.
Right there. One of my favorite things I heard on this is like, you really get hated on by somebody doing more than you because, you know what I'm saying, it's true.
True, right? Right? The niggas who are getting shit done and focus on what they building, it's seldom, right? It's very seldom. And if they are hating on you, it's constructively. You feel me?
Yeah, that's
it's not just because they don't enjoy how you look or how you sound or some shit like that. You feel me?
That's real. You've seen the Genius documentary, right?
Of course.
I had those guys on the last episode, man.
Who'd you have? Cootie and Chike?
Cootie and Chike.
Yeah, I did something with Cootie and Chike a few months back.
Yeah, those guys are the
energy.
truth.
Yeah, love it.
They looked at Kanye like, you're just a producer, you're not a rapper.
Right.
It's crazy. And now look at, you know what I mean? So you gotta trust it. If you feel it, you gotta trust it.
Yeah, people expect you to be what you show them you are. Kanye was showing every nigga he came across beats. Of course they're like, nigga, you're a producer. That's what they seen him. Every time they seen him, he was making a beat for someone or had a beat for someone. So, of course, when you come out of that and you're like, nah, I want to do this. And they like, but we've seen you. Always thing you do is make, you feel me? That comes with that. That's what they displayed from you. People expect you to be exactly as you showed them you are. You feel me?
Yeah, that's true, man. We got to categorize everything. You know what I'm saying?
Everything.
Even when I worked at I worked at Interscope for a while. It's like a new artist. We're like, it sounds like Pharrell meets The Weeknd. You know what I mean? Like, we need something to grab onto.
Right. If I'm in a grocery store and they took down all the signs, I'd be like, damn. I wish they had things categorized, you feel me? But when it comes to art and humans, sometimes that doesn't work in your favor, you feel me? It could be stifling or hinders them, but that same thing, it has this duality, you feel me? When it's necessary, it's great because I can go on Spotify and the algorithm is going to send me someone who sounds like Brent Fires or sounds like Frank Ocean or sounds like Kendrick, you know, and that works. Yeah. What did you do at Interscope?
A&R. Artist development.
How'd you get into that?
Man, I just, here's the long story short. I got 5 lawyers in my immediate family. The only thing I thought I was going to do was go be a lawyer. And then when I got accepted. Are you Jewish? Yeah. When I got accepted to law school, my family was more excited about it than me, and I was like, "Oh shit, I got a problem," you know. And then I believe I'm a God guy, man. I'm a universe. Like, I think things happen in my life. When I look back, things happen at the right time, at the right moment. Right. And I discovered this job called A&R, which, if you're not working in music, you don't know what A&R is, but you know, it's the people that at the label that get charged with finding new music, right? Right. And I was like, I can't believe people get a paycheck to do that, you know? And my dad was a child prodigy. He played with the Detroit Symphony when he was 8 on piano. So I just grew up listening to all the best music. I think this is why, like, I'm like riding the same frequency as you. Because when I was at the label, I was like, yo, like, it doesn't matter how dope an artist is. If they only have like 1,000 fans, like, the label's not going to get behind it. The label was getting behind things that were trash that had, like, you know, hundreds of thousands of views and shit. And so I was like, wait, I'm in the wrong environment. As a label, music is your investment, right? You're diversifying your portfolio. And for us, there's easy investments and difficult investments. To me, making merch is an easy investment because I know it's like, well, I already sold 1,000, so I know I can do 10,000 ticket shows. And the labels look at that shit the same, right? If I have to choose 2 artists to make an investment in as just an investment, not anything that has my heart in it, just what's going to yield me money. And one of them you see, oh, well, they already sold 500,000 of these, so it's easier to sell, right? But it's like with music, you really can't use that. But bro, that's short money to me. Short money is king too. I mean, it keeps I need going. Capital right now. Nigga, it's like 20 years is great. Because I want to kick back in 20 years, but if I made $1 million today, 20 years I might be on 100 of them. You feel me? So even if you could have had Amazon stock in like 1986, you right, or whatever, would like a check, right? Exactly. Yeah. That shit sucks because it's really for some people it's just an investment. It's not really like a deep care regard for the art. It's just like, nigga, that shit's selling. Go. It's like music for them is like retail arbitrage. You can find an item that's already selling well that you could just black label and get, you know, X amount. And that's what they do on Amazon FBA, right? They get a product and then they run it to the ground. It's like, all right, we need to find the next product. It's literally, they're doing retail arbitrage in music. I'm built different. Like, I think music is sacred. Right. So I don't look at it like that. Right. You know. But you got to balance both. Did you have a hard time there? Oh, really hard time, bro. Right. Really hard time. And when I would meet people, they'd be like, wait, you weren't at the label? Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I was just different. Right. You know? But that's where we started a conversation about kind of embracing what makes you different. Right. Now I'm getting my my master's degree in clinical psychology because I want to be a therapist, artist, and help artists. Wow. You see what I'm saying? Dope. So, like, everything kind of evolves. Like, if you just trust the Now, there were some times where I was like, what the hell's going on? And my whole world was breaking down. Man, there was a lyric that you spit. Because because I see you, you know what I mean? I see you as a light, and other people have said that. And so you rap about that. You said, they'll never understand my plight. The world see LaRussell as a light. Don't know the inner struggles that LaRussell had to fight. So can we talk about that? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, 'cause, you know, where's all this come from, man? You know what I mean? Like, you got a lot of wisdom, you know, at a young age.
I don't know where the light comes from. Honestly. I don't know. It's one of those universal things, right? Like, I feel like every person comes here with their own set of ingredients, right? And you pick things up from your mother and your father, but there's these core ingredients that it's just you, right? And whatever you were created for and destined for, that's just you. And I haven't been able to figure out where this light come from. Because if you meet my mama light too, but it's like, she a different kind of nigga. You feel me? like we the same, but we different. And same with my pops, you feel me? So I don't know where that shit come from. I just gotta really accredit it to the environment and upbringing and meeting new friends and people along the way. And I'm someone who takes pieces from everyone.
Let's go to Anger is Self-Defeating. That's off the book, right? Yeah. Talk to us about that. Break that down for us.
Man, anger is self-defeating. You just don't do nothing well or great when you're upset. You don't make the best decisions. You're irrational. And you feel like shit. Like the only person who really, because a lot of people can be affected by your anger. But the person that's affected the most is you. Is you. Like, you just don't feel well.
Yeah. And
that itself is enough punishment for being angry, you feel me? Like, it's really self-inflicted trauma. Do you get angry?
Yeah, of course. I'm human. But here's what I learned. See, like, and I used to beat myself up sometimes when I wouldn't get over shit quick, but I feel like it's not so much in never falling down, but it's you do the work so you can get up faster. Like,
definitely. So anger manifests itself differently, right? And when I'm talking about anger, I'm talking about like, I broke my own computer. I'm throwing it's self-sabotage, right? Yeah. Like, not like frustration. You can feel that energy just kind of sitting in them, and those are two different things.
You can you can feel it when somebody walks into a room, right? Like that's
instantly, right?
Yeah. You've come a long way in your build, right? And you're you're winning and you're crushing right now, and I'm so happy to see a good dude just killing it. Lauryn Hill has a line that says, "How you gonna win when you ain't right within?" Have you heard that bar before?
Of course.
So at first, I feel like maybe you went through a period where your energy wasn't right, where you weren't right within. So what are some things that's helped you be able to manifest the things that you've been able to manifest just from a energetic standpoint?
It's not even earlier. I still do. I still struggle within. And I don't think that's anything that ever goes away. I think that's part of like the human journey too, right? Like every day you're either in a battle or you're dancing with your emotions and everything you feel. Like every day you wake up, you kind of gotta fight off doubt. You gotta fight off insecurity. You gotta fight off all these things so you could be peaceful, right? And man, that line is one of my favorites because it's just it's another thing where it just makes it very hard to navigate life when you feel like shit internally.
Yeah.
And I've accomplished a lot while feeling like shit at times. You feel me? So it's crazy. It's not even always a hindrance, but I know I could do a lot more. Like I would tell him Splash, I'll be saying all the time, like, nigga, I've done a lot of this shit the past 2 years high. You feel me? Like dealing with my own internal shit and dealing with my own shit that I've been causing through life, my own messes I've been having to clean up. And I've accomplished all this high. So imagine what I could do if I'm at 100%. That's how you gonna win if you ain't right within is. It's like, bro, whatever you think you're getting done now and you're not well, you could do 100 times more. And if you ain't getting shit done, it's like you could be seeing the flip side of that. But it's very hard to do when shit ain't right inside of there. You feel
it's
me?
like Steph Curry playing with a sprained ankle versus Steph Curry not playing with a sprained ankle. It's like, that's the idea. You know what I mean? Like, imagine.
Right. It's like, he gave you 20, but nigga, that's would have been a 60 night if he was right. You feel me? And it takes a lot. You gotta do a lot of sitting, reading, biking, and even that some days don't help, because I think ultimately, like, all that shit is a distraction, right? You really have to sit and get to the root of it, right? There's a problem tree. And you got fruit and you got roots. And a lot of us just see the fruit, so that's kind of what we tend to.
Come on, man.
It's like, you know, you got to get to the roots.
Come on. Talk your shit, as you say.
Come on.
I overheard you were recording some content when I first got here. There was a producer that wanted to figure out, like, getting the beats out there but didn't trust people. And you're like, that's damn near a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when you put out that energy, that's what you're going to manifest.
Bro, the walls you build to protect yourself are the same walls that imprison you. It's duality. Yeah. So, you built the wall so you safe and you comfy, but now you also limited yourself from going outside and seeing what's on the
blocking
other
your blessings.
Too, right? Yeah. So everything has that duality. Like, you may think you're doing yourself a service, but you're not helping yourself at all.
Hey guys, just want to take a minute and say thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you're appreciating the content and that you are being uplifted and inspired. Please hit the subscribe button if you've not done so already. We've got so many more cool guests, powerful interviews, just raw truth being shared to uplift and inspire humanity. If you have not done so already, please follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Mean the world to us as we continue to grow this channel and this platform to continue to spread positivity in a world that really is hurting right now. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world. God bless. I want to break this concept down of 10,000 shots that you talk about, because Bruce Lee, who I'm sure you mess with, right? Yeah. Yep. He's like, Bruce Lee's not worried about the guy that's practiced a thousand different kicks or something. Right. You know about that? He's worried about the guy that's practiced like one kick 1,000 times. And that's what that made me think of, man. So I want to go into that.
It's that exact energy. Man, I know a great portion of where I am in my career and my life is due to the fact that I've done it more than everyone else that I was coming up with that had the potential to get here. I did more. And I did more before people even seen me do more. Like when I started doing live sessions, I did 500 of those. But before I ever did that, I was writing songs and making beats and producing eons before anyone ever got to see me display my talent for the first time. Like, I have people who are just finding me today, already made 27 albums and shot 1,000 live sessions and did hundreds of shows and performed. You just finding me today. I'm 100,000 shots in. You feel me? Like, that shit is important. The more shots you get, the better you become. It's just as simple as that. There's no way around it.
But what prevents people from taking those shots, they block that process to where they could be improving because of outside opinions. I mean, that's like
away with them. Away with them. There's nothing you can do. I mean, you don't want it.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't because to me, like, it's the hunger, bro. It's the hunger that, like even for this podcast, I have like an insatiable appetite to be building this podcast.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying? So you could throw a storm at me, you could throw a flat tire at me. I don't care, bro.
And that's the thing. People need to get to the state of just saying they don't want it. You don't have to make all these fucking excuses. And, I ain't got this and I just can't get. Just say you don't want it. And it's easier for us all, because I'll stop trying to convince you and trying to help, and you can stop shitting on yourself because you just don't want it, nigga. You feel me? Like, it's as simple as that.
But I know an artist who was feeling kind of salty or upset that she wasn't further along in her career. And guess how many songs she was doing? She was putting out like one song a year.
I know plenty and many.
And was upset. It was straight up upset.
Many.
Yeah.
You're always going to be wherever you work to be. Every time. You're going to be exactly where you work to be at. So every time you get in this phase and state of like, man, I should be further along, it's like, nigga, why? What did you do? You see the people who have done way more work than everyone else, you can tell. You're like, nigga, how'd you get one of them? Oh, well, I've been doing this for 30 years and I never stopped.
Kanye has a line in College Dropout. He's like, lock yourself
What you know about making 5 beats a day for 3 summers? I deserve to do these numbers. Exactly.
That's it right there.
Exactly. I deserve to do these numbers. It's
Amazing.
4 months in the summer. 5 beats a day? We talking 120 days. 480 beats, nigga. For 3 summers? That's 1,800 beats. Some niggas take their whole life to make 1,800 beats. Niggas want to be where at. That's something I learned. Like, anytime you see somebody in a certain position, if you want to be where they are, just do what they did. If you want to be further than they are or better, do double what they did. And if you're not willing to do that, come on, man. Just shut up. You feel me? Because it ain't happening.
No, that's real. And it's like, you got the insecurity on the front end, like we said, insecurity or whatever can stop you, right? Because you care about what people think. Well, when you get on, those opinions of you are going to be magnified. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be able to take these arrows and shit later, right?
The bigger you get, the more they hurt because you just don't understand where it's coming from. Like, you know, small town hate is one thing. It's like, oh, nigga, you just mad you ain't make it. But when it's coming from niggas like, who don't even know you, who have no regard, you never met me, you don't know my character, and they talking like certain shit is just like, bro, what?
Can I share a bar with you on that?
Come on.
I heard somebody say, like, if you got a problem with me, text me. And if you don't have my number to text me, you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me.
Right. Right.
I think that's real.
Right? And that's the thing, like, with being human, you can't escape it sometimes. And no matter how well you're doing, I'll see certain comments sometimes and it'll still bother me. Even though I'm like, it's like, nigga,
well, you're doing well. And you're doing well, and it doesn't matter.
That be that human component and the emotions. And, you know, it's really like self-reflective. The things that bother you are things that bother you. You feel me? Like a stray dog, a holler, right? Yeah. Like when someone touches on something that you've already been feeling and fuck with you, that's what bothers you.
Yeah, I had a therapist once tell me, she's like, if somebody calls you purple and you're not purple at all, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to hit you the same. But if you were feeling insecure that day and somebody drops you know what I'm saying? And it hits you that day, it'll get you that day, period. Right. You know what I mean?
No, for real. You, right? If someone's not calling your name, you don't answer. Yeah. Like, if I walk outside and someone's like, David, I just keep walking because my name ain't David. Exactly. But, you know, when someone is like, bitch, you turn around, it's like, oh, my bad, I called your name. But that's how the human shit work, right? Like, that's just real. Naturally, however you're feeling, you gonna take that on.
Advantage or disadvantage only exists by comparison. Right? Yeah. Oh, that was nice, man.
Right? I feel like that's a little golden nugget, right? Yeah. You don't ever really think about where you lack until you think of what someone else has or where someone else is. You never feel like you behind until you running and you see his other niggas all the way up there and you're like, fuck! I'm you could be running your fastest time ever. Killing it. You could be setting your personal record, but it's a nigga in front of you and you upset that you just ran your fastest time you've ever ran.
Let me flip it on you. But if you think about where you are today versus where you were 5 years ago, like for me, that shit will have me cheesing, you know what I mean? From ear to ear. Like, man, I've come so far in 5 years. Right. Then we're good, right? That's the message.
But even that is a killer because what happened if you fall off and you have a decline? Then you're going to hate yourself because you're not where you was 5 years ago. You just should not compare, period, even to your own journey because that's going to hurt you too. You right here. It's the only spot that matter right now. You right here. It don't even matter where you was. You ever meet somebody who's been like divorced for years or haven't been with someone for years, but they still talk about them all the time? And it's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like the other person is remarried and on to a whole new life, and that's what that shit is. You feel me? But like you create that yourself, but you can't compare any part of your journey to any part of it. Like today is the only part that matters.
And we're all so unique, bro, right? We're all so unique. Well, we can't, you know what I mean? We can't be comparing ourselves to anybody because we're just all so different.
Right? Different paths. Know? You didn't do what that person did. Yeah. Like, you know, for Kobe to be Kobe, the nigga he lived in a whole different country and learned a whole different lane. Like there was unique things that happened to make him him, and you can't replicate that.
That's so real. and the 50 every game concept.
Come on.
If you're not getting on the court to put up 50 every game, why are you getting on the court, bro?
Right? Man, like, that's the if you ain't ready for this work, the nigga call off. If you didn't come to get it in, why did you come?
There's people out there that are doing really well with their career, but maybe they want a relationship, maybe they want to start a family. You know what I mean? Then you could just like get caught up in, I'm doing well in my career. You know what I mean? Or vice versa, you could just be chilling with your family, but you want to like expand yourself in your career. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's a lot of these different areas.
I think that if that's the case, you always gauge your expectation based around that. If you want to chill and sit and you like, oh, I'm content with my career, don't cry because you ain't got the big Benz and a mansion and you can't go do the shows over here and there. Right. Because you chose to not put up 50 every day. You was content. So that's cool. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. But be okay with that. Right? You don't get access to a certain life if that's what you chose. Yeah, and
if you want to put up the 50, man, you got to be willing to sweat.
I had read this quote that said, success is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration.
Hell yeah. A lot of sweat. That's what they call it sweat equity.
Right.
For a reason.
Right.
Oh, man, here's another one.
This nigga's so funny. He look at his own questions. He like, nigga, like when you write a hard verse, that nigga like, oh, I'm like, that's hard. I wrote that's hard. This nigga.
You know what I mean? Why do this shit if you're not getting excited about 50. It, right? You got to put up 50. That's it. So and this is all from LaRussell's book Limitless, by the way, go get that shit, just side note.
Come on.
When an animal is trapped, sometimes it'll attack those trying to free it. That's crazy. Oh man. Like give us an example of that for the people. Like what could that look like? You know?
Nigga, you ever caught any kind of animal in a trap and then tried to open that shit to let it out? Like imagine catching a bobcat. If you watch Animal Planet, and they go and they take animals out niggas' homes. Yeah. Go try to let a snake out the cage, right? You might get bit doing so. That's real. The people who are willing to free it is willing to take those bites. But man, you have to really, and that's how humans are.
I was gonna say, as humans, how do we do that as humans?
Some days I'm a fucking Canine Advantage Terrier. And some days I'm a snapping turtle.
Okay.
Right? And the people around me deal with that, and they encounter different versions of me, and they willing to kind of take those snaps to free me, right? To make sure that we can accomplish what we want to accomplish, right? You have to be around people that's willing to get bit to free you, willing to get bit to give you your shots, willing to get bit so you can, because you won't always be biting, but sometimes your dog just you're not in a good space right now, right? And you can't be upset at that, Bro, especially in this industry, Stretch had told me something early. I was working with someone, and they was just acting funny about the business side. Like, they were kind of approaching it like I was going to fuck them over. And it's like, nigga, they ain't got shit to do with me. And Stretch had told me, he was like, you can't be mad at the people who got raped, right? They've been in this industry, and their whole experience here they've been getting beat and used and used. So of course they're coming into new relationships with
bringing that
thought and that ideology. Even though you're a new person, they're like, well, I know what people have done and are responsible for, right? So for those people, like, you have to be willing to get bit to even help them, right? To even be accommodating, right? So that's some shit, and that's some shit I learned early on working with artists and helping artists, and the ones that mean a lot to me. Like, we go through a lot with one another, where sometimes we was getting bit just to get to the point that we had to get to.
Look in the direction you plan to go.
Yeah.
I think what prevents us from doing that is, like, we're wired still very primitively. So meaning, like, back in the days, like the prehistoric days, like, we had to focus more on the threat. Like, not getting eaten by, like, a saber-tooth tiger or whatever, you know what I mean? Right. Versus, like, oh, no, we want to go set up shop and, like, enjoy ourselves somewhere. It was more about focusing on the threat. Now we have
the time and comfort to think about yesterday all day today.
Exactly.
When you didn't used to have that comfort.
No.
Imagine you plowing this big-ass field, and you've been working 8 hours all day, you tired and you're hungry, and you look back and you realize you didn't get nearly as much done as you thought you did. Now you fucked your whole day off because you should have just kept going for it. Didn't even matter, right? Or you may look back and you like, oh shit, I guess I can stop now because I got that much done. It's like, no, you was right there. Now you stopping somebody else. You feel me? Like you just have to look forward. You on the racetrack. The driver who's looking back here is gonna lose the race.
There's a reason why the windshield is so big and the rear view mirror is so small, man. Yeah.
Right. You're doing yourself a disservice. Keep going.
Impossible is the opinion of the incapable, man. Oh, that was so good.
I've never heard a nigga who's accomplished what I was trying to accomplish tell me I couldn't do it. Only the niggas who never did it. You ain't never had a nigga who's done it. You feel me? I have rode my bike from Vallejo to San Francisco one time. And I used to tell certain people, like, yeah, we rode there. And they like, you could do that? Right? Like, they had no idea.
Yeah.
Why did they have no idea? Because they didn't do it. So, of course, their opinion is separate from the nigga who did it.
Can I hit you with a deeper layer even on that?
Come on.
Sometimes it could be like, because I got a real case scenario where it's a family member of mine who's like, she's like a dentist and she's doing all this and she sees me on the creative path and like, she might doubt some of the shit that I'm up to, but that's just because she is built for safety and security. Does that make sense? So it could be like, oh, you can't do that, but ironically, it could be coming from love, a place of love. You feel me? Because that path isn't safe, you know what I mean? So it doesn't always have to be on some hate.
It's never a place of love.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes we associate different emotions with love.
Yeah.
Fear is not love. Fear is fear. Right? If someone's telling you, I don't know about that,
they fear for
they're
your
not
safety,
saying it
though.
because they love you and they're trying to protect you. It's their fear. Their fear if they would have taken that path. What would happen? Their security. It's not love. You feel me?
Wow. It's not about you, you're saying? It's about how they're interpreting the situation?
It's how they're interpreting what you're doing and if they would do that. It's simple as that. It has nothing to do with you, right? It's everything to do with them, how they would feel. That's with everything, right? Everything that everyone does is self-serving. Like, even when we're helping, it's still self-serving. Like, Splash clocks in and does his thing because he fucks with me, but he wants to make it. As simple as that. That's where it ends. It doesn't go no deeper than that. He wants this shit. The day he does it, none of this will happen. It's as simple as that, right? The day he decides he doesn't want it for himself, it doesn't exist no more. And that's what everything is for. How someone perceives it and feels about themselves with it. Ain't got shit to do with you.
Bro, come on. That's a podcast clip right there.
For real.
Great. I saw you post recently about the double XL freshman list. You said, it's concerning or something, right? Did you put that out? As a quote. Yes. And so I went and I looked at based on, your tweet or whatever. And I was like, man.
Were you concerned?
Man, I was like, this shit is dark, bro. This is dark, bro.
Right? It's concerning.
It's concerning,
It's concerning,
bro. For real,
because
though.
it's like, and of course, we can make our own. But it's like, these are platforms we grew up on love and who have had such huge stakes in the culture that we enjoyed. They created moments for us to put on our walls and for us to bond with our family and our homies and to remember. Like, me and my best friend used to watch Double XL Cyphers, you feel me? But it's they shit, right? And you can't be upset at a nigga for putting pickles on his sandwich. You can't even be like, nigga, your sandwich disgusting. It's like, why did y'all choose them of everyone you could choose? That's the shit that be going on in my mind, because I feel like when you have power of choice and you choose a certain thing, it's about you. What is your agenda in doing so?
The platform.
The platform, the people who make the choices. When you made that choice, what was in your mind? Right? Because all of us have our own perspectives. So when someone says, let's not put the niggas who are actually putting messages in their music and really making things happen, and let's put these people, what is the basis behind that?
What do you think it is?
I really have no idea. When I was growing up, I could turn on the radio and I could hear Nas, I know I can. I could hear Lauryn Hill, X Factor, I could hear Lauryn Hill, Everything is Everything. I could hear Outkast, Rosa Parks.
All Falls Down.
I could hear All Falls Down.
Yeah.
If I turn on the radio today, you won't get none of that. Not one thing that's nourishing, that's like, you don't...
Perfect word.
I ain't mad at you used to be on the radio. Dear mama, Brenda's got a baby. What the fuck happened? Like, it has to be an agenda because all of our messaging has gone away. All of the food that was good for us has gone. There's nothing there no more, but we still eating.
I'm studying psychology, right? There's like a crisis going on. Anxiety and depression is like an all-time high, right? Especially for like, younger, like 16 to 24-year-old.
Right.
So maybe the music reflects that as like, which is feeding which? You know what I'm trying to say? Because that was
it's programming.
It's programming.
The people aren't picking these songs. As much as they want niggas to believe that shit, the people aren't picking these songs. There's some songs that go straight to radio. Like, they decide, oh, we fuck with this one, we taking it to radio. Mm-hmm. We didn't get no chance or say so in making it go viral yet. It hasn't even popped or broke through yet. Yeah. But yet it's on the radio. Yeah. Someone makes that decision. And it's not the people. Mm. And you know it's not the people because niggas can't sell out shows. So it's clearly not the people deciding it. Who the fuck is choosing this?
Wait, I got it. It's like the same reason why the news is so fucked up. Why are they showing the worst shit about humanity 24/7, bro? Okay, we did it. We figured it out. Let's go.
As long as I've known, the news has been the news. Yeah. Right? And that's the thing. Like, you have to create independent infrastructures, but none of that shit even matter because that is the main one, right? That's the one that everyone tunes in. You can have your podcast and shit, and it's dope for the people who get it, but you should still be able to turn on the radio, and you and your family and your kids in the car should be able to listen to hip-hop and hear something nourishing. Yeah. Something with it, man, because there's so much of it out here. Yeah. Why are we only choosing these particular songs to go? It's just kind of interesting.
I mean, I think they're just going with the path of least resistance. Like, oh, this will get a response, this will get a reaction. Let's just do that.
Everything will get a response and a reaction when you put that much money behind it. All my life has been doing numbers.
It's a great record.
Nigga, they get to choose. When you put options in front of people, they're going to choose one. So you don't get to say, oh, well, that record wouldn't go. You didn't even fucking try it. Yeah. It for sure would go. People just didn't get a chance to choose it.
A shift is coming, though. Do you feel it? I feel a little bit of shift coming, too. I mean, I see more artists like yourself and definitely more. I feel like there's more podcasts, more artists coming up, or I could just be looking at what I want to look at. I don't know.
I think duality has always existed, right? You've always had the system in place and you always had revolutionaries fighting for freedom. And I don't think that has changed.
And there's a need for healing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like what you use the word nourishing though. Right. Like that's a powerful word.
Right?
Yeah. You're a dad. I got to talk about that on some deep shit. Like how did that change the way you viewed life, being a dad?
Man, the shift has been like gradual. Initially, like I had a child when I was 17. So initially it wasn't like a huge mental shift. Kinda though, but not in a way that I don't know though. It did lead to action because I've been just really present and active since. But just mentally trying to gather the idea of it and I used to see it as like a burden. Like I felt like I messed up by having a kid early. Like it used to weigh on me, like all of those feelings.
Because you didn't get to enjoy your years when you were a kid still, or what?
No. Just man, feeling like not having the ability to provide at a level that you wish you could at times, or not even being where you feel like you should be as a human, to where you're someone that's not detrimental to a child, and you can actually teach and show things and build a relationship.
You're just figuring shit out yourself at that age. I got you.
Yeah. So, it's been just a gradual incline of like acceptance and like, oh, this is a dope role. This is a beautiful thing, right? And that took a while to just get to.
We talk about her learning from you, your child learning from you. What have you learned from your child? I wonder. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's one thing that you've learned about life from her?
That you can learn from any and everyone. Like, when I was coming up, most of the adults kind of like had low regard for what the child thinks or wants or their opinion on the matter. And my daughter is someone that I asked her opinion on things and just how she
That's so
things.
Dope.
And we used to do, like, when she get out of school, we do like a bunch of problems and shit, but at the end of the problems, I'd write 3 questions about life that you want to answer to. And whatever she asks, I'd have to give her an answer, find an answer. And she'd always ask intricate things like, why are people homeless? Why are people racist? You know, things like this. And I have to explain and find an answer. And sometimes she asks things that aren't that deep. It's just, she's just interested. She just wants to know. Yeah. But she has the ability to do so. So, man, it's just taught me how to be patient and like, just trying to be a better person so someone gets to see a blueprint and have someone that, you know, they don't have, like, we don't have a fear-based relationship. My daughter isn't ever scared to do something or say something because she's going to get her ass whooped or because, you know, she might get yelled at her. Like, we grew up with different, you know, backings and, man, it's just dope. It's dope.
I love that, especially, you know, like, treating them like they're like a real human, not just a little child or whatever.
Like,
I've heard
like
that from
yours.
Yes.
Right? People see their kids as theirs, and since it's theirs, you see how people treat their own shit. So of course they would treat their child like such. You feel me? But yeah, she's a person.
You know, you got all this momentum now, and it's just rolling for you. But what was one of the hardest days on the journey, if you don't mind opening up a little bit, like, you know, to get here? Was there ever a period of time where you're like, oh shit, I don't know if this is gonna work, like, or just talk us through one of those hardest moments.
Yeah. I've had plenty of those. Man, I remember one New Year's. I think it was like 2020 going into 2021. There was New Year's, and I remember being in my room. I was sleeping on my air mattress, and I was in my room at my mom's spot, and I was just crying. And I could hear, like, you know, the sounds of New Year's and shit. And I chose not to be with, like, my daughter and family. So I just I had to be alone. Like, I was just going through it. And I remember just crying, just kind of being in that space. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, I had quit my job, and I invested tons of money, tons of my money, tons of homies' money, my pops, just, like, trying everything, man. Shows, spending money on, but I had done that. And just through life, I just wasn't living well. I wasn't being the best person. So my life was starting to show that, right? It was starting to,
you weren't enjoying your days, right?
I wasn't enjoying my I fucked the days. I wasn't enjoying my life. You feel me? And I was just fucked up.
That's so huge because I feel like a lot of creators and artists listen to this, right? And I feel like we defer our happiness. Like, I can't be happy until X, Y, or Z happens.
Oh, man.
You feel me? Like,
yeah.
It sounds like you were doing that at that point, right? And now I don't think.
Yeah, but I wasn't even deferring it. I didn't even have a specific point at which I could be happy. Mine was just, I can't be happy. And some days it's still that. It's like, you know, I do a lot of things and I live a really dope life that I work for and cultivated, but some days it's still unenjoyable. Some days I still wake up and I'm like, I'd rather not have. You feel me? And
I don't want to grind today. Like, what's the
I don't want to be
feeling?
alive today. I don't want to be here today, right? And that's something that I have to work through each day and get back to those. Because I also have days where I'm like, nigga, this shit up forever. Nigga, you feel me? You can bury me and I'm still gonna be here. You know, like those. It's the duality of it, right? And I have to deal with both. And that's all. The boat rocks, right? If the boat ain't rocking, the boat ain't moving. Hey, if the boat ain't rocking, the boat ain't moving. I'm trying to get seasick in this bitch. Hey, if the boat ain't rocking, the boat ain't moving. It's simple as that, right? You gonna go through the emotions. That just means you're in motion.
Whew. That's heavy.
That's the clip.
Swish.
That
was nothing but that. That was half court right there. The deeper we're able to experience joy, it literally, like, we have had to experience that equal level of sorrow to cut to that level of joy. Like, literally.
For you to be in love, for you to be in love, like, at the level where you're like, oh, you mean the world, this is all I care about, I'm so happy I'm with you. You have to be willing to get your heart broken to the point to where you're going to be in a dark spot after if you're not mentally well, right? To experience that kind of love, you have to be willing to experience that kind of heartbreak too. they come together. It's a package deal.
Yeah, man.
And that's with anything. To experience great success, you have to experience great failure first. And the only thing that alters how you handle that failure is your perspective of that failure. Same with heartbreak. Some people have relationships that they deeply love and they're able to end cordially because their perspective of it is shifted. And that's the same with life. Like, you know, I've been able to get through certain moments because I was able to shift perspective. Yeah. The moments that was harder for me to fight through is because my perspective on what was happening changed, right? Like, the storm is the storm. Now, what you make of it, that's the only thing
it's your interpretation. Your interpretation.
Everything else is gonna happen. The only thing that you could really change is your perspective of what took place.
Amen.
Did someone disrespect you, or do you feel disrespected because what you dealing with internally, right?
Amen.
That's what alters that.
That's that, like, you either win or you learn shit too, right?
Come on.
You know? Yeah. You know, it takes a special individual to be able to keep picking yourself up, bro.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because
a lot of people can't pick themselves up for that. You know, some people get knocked down, like you said earlier. Somebody lost a relationship and 5 years ago
and sometimes people can't pick them. There's been times I didn't pick myself up. Tieta picked me up, or Millie picked me up, or Yaya picked me up, or my pops picked me up, or Splash picked me up, or Child picked me up, or Fonnie picked me up. But after they picked me up, I stood 10. You feel me? So some days you can't pick yourself up. And that's all right. That's why you build community that can. And some days it take longer to pick yourself up. Sometimes I'll take 2 or 3 days of I'm just not feeling good. Right? And it's gonna take a while to get back up, but you have to get back up.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Let's talk the other side, duality, right? Let's talk about one of the most surreal moments that's occurred for you on this journey. Like, man, did that really happen? Or I had a conversation with this person, you know what I mean?
Meeting Diddy.
Okay, let's talk about it.
That was a surreal moment. It made me feel like, oh yeah, I made it. Just because I feel like if Diddy know you exist, you made enough noise. If Diddy know you exist, there's not too many niggas within the culture that can be like, nah, we ain't never heard that nigga. It's like, bro, you know I exist. Diddy knows. You feel me? And that, not to say like he's any specific thing, but it's like Diddy and Hove is Diddy and Hove. In this culture, like, them the niggas who did it.
Maybe Ye.
And
too,
if they, but yes, Ye
maybe,
for
okay.
and Ye knows. Ye for sure. But I mean, like, Diddy and Hove was before, like they were the ones, right? It was Bad Boy, Rockefeller, nigga. Right. You feel me? So like, to me, that was just like a. When I knew Hove knew who I was and Diddy knew who I was, and then getting to meet Puff, it was like, we did it. This is some crazy shit, right? But it also showed me the duality of it. It was like, niggas is human. I can have all this. It's all mine because it's no special sauce. It goes down to who want it. Like, I met regular niggas, like, man, it's beautiful to see your heroes without their capes. And it's like, oh, shit. I could do all that too. Like, if you want it, you can have it.
Just put the 10,000 shots in.
Man, once you take the magic out and you realize like niggas ain't had no magical potion and this all they had was work ethic and niggas wanted it more than everybody else, it just unveils everything. And it's just like, it's a beautiful thing when you can meet you. Some niggas you meet and they feel mythical or mystic. It's like, damn, that nigga different. I don't know if I don't know. It doesn't feel obtainable. But when you meet the niggas who just feel hella human and it's like, bro, I can see where you hurting. I can see where you happy. I can see what you going. I can see you human. Like, I really, when I met Diddy, it felt like I met myself if I made certain decisions throughout my life. Like, I seen all of me. I remember leaving and man, I had to go for a walk because I was so in my head. I was just reflecting on everything and I was like, damn, this nigga is me. Like, I just seen so much of me in him, and it was a dope experience.
And to juxtapose that with the crying and being away from your family on New Year's Eve, this was like a couple years later, a year later, whatever, right? Years later. It's crazy to like look at those two things, isn't it?
Right.
You know?
Right.
No, that's beautiful. Is there a gem? Is there like a life gem that Diddy dropped on you that you could share with the listeners that you remember or whatever?
We was walking to the studio and I was like, what do you want? I was like, man, like you got everything, but what do you want? And he said, I just want to breathe. And I've never related to someone more in my life. Like that, him saying that made me understand everything else that I just witnessed and felt. It was like, that's exactly what I thought. I thought you couldn't breathe. I could tell, like I could see it, I could feel it in the atmosphere. And I've never related so much. I got a song called Breathe.
Based on that?
Like,
based on
no,
that?
it's not even based on that. It ended up happening because I feel that way often.
You just want to breathe.
I just want to breathe. Imagine you got the world on your back and on your chest. You ever been tired and a nigga sit on your chest or sit on your back?
Yeah.
That's how it feels with niggas who really get shit done and really take care of their family and really build things in the real world. Like, you got so much on you, it'd be hard to breathe sometimes. And that's all I felt. And when he said it, it was like...
That's that heavy lies the crown shit, right? It's like
right?
there's a lot of responsibilities that come with that shit. Yeah.
Take care of yourself because you can't make it if you're dead.
Wow.
Right?
Deep, bro. I look at it like you're on a basketball team, right? And if my teammate, I want my teammate to put up 55 points or whatever because that's going to help me get the ring. You know what I'm trying to say? And
some of us do.
Yeah.
Some of us don't. Some of us like, no, I'm going to put up 55 and nigga, you play your role and make sure I put up 55. But some of us is like, no. Hey, nigga, if you get 55 tonight, I'm cool with that.
We're up together, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But that's not everybody's agenda, right? But when that becomes that, and you can only do that by demonstration, my hopes is like, every nigga that I brought in here and changed their life, they go do it for the next. Tieta, bro. Tieta is a fucking reflection, bro. Tieta got this nigga a fucking Mac Studio, right? And I'm like, oh, them niggas went half. And he was like, no, she copped that shit. Because she a real nigga. And I didn't even know she did it. But after she did it, I was like, nigga, I'm finna get you right. Because that's how that karmic cycle, you don't never have to worry about what's in it for you. It's gonna come. She didn't know I was gonna go back and get her right. She just did it because that's the type of nigga she is. And that's how you supposed to navigate life.
That sounds. I love that you said karmic, bro, because like it's on some reap what you sow shit, right?
That's all
life
it is.
And you said if you're eating like shit, it means you planted shitty seeds a year before or whatever, right? Like, it's amazing, man. And it might take. And then again, you plant some good seeds. You got to be patient because that shit's gonna take a little bit of time, like you said, bro. You were crying on the mattress. That meeting with Diddy came years later, bro.
Nigga, I remember being on bro, I've had a few crying moments. Man, I had got my first time when I got a call from Johnny Sykes to come out to New York. I was in one of them moments, right? I literally had to wipe my face before I picked up the call. You feel me? Like that's how crazy that shit be. And you never know the stories behind what happened. And what's crazy with the Johnny Sykes shit, it's like I didn't end up doing no deal and getting no money, so I ended up being in the same position, but I did end up meeting the whole vein and just doing dope music, just meeting great people that end up altering the trajectory in my career.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I mean, you could do so much on your own, but you need allies too, right? You need allies,
right? Yeah. Community. Yeah. You need community.
Yeah.
Like nigga, you used to have communities where somebody growing cherries, somebody growing apple. You got an apple orchard. Another nigga is doing all the grains. Another nigga doing the beans, and it's like, all right, now we got a meal when we come together.
I love the way you said that. Okay. This is an important one. I got one more. So the last interview I did was with the lady that runs Biz3 Publicity, right? So she's like publicist for J. Cole, The Weeknd,
What's
all
the
these
lady's
people.
name?
Catherine Frazier. She's
Catherine
lit.
Frazier.
She's lit. And on some weird universe shit, like J. Cole just did an interview on Kevin Hart's podcast, and he literally shouted her out for like changing his life and teaching him meditation and shit, like the day after. So I was like, all right, man, I see you, thank you. You know what I mean?
Like, hard.
You know? And so we talked in our interview again just a few days ago. She's like, you got to ignore. She's like, the great ones ignore the negativity that gets spit at them online. They don't look at whatever. But I was like, but when you're a new artist or whatever you're doing and just building, you kind of need the people to fuck with you. Does that make sense? So it's this weird like duality push-pull. Like you don't want to care, but you also need to care. You understand?
You don't even have to ignore it. You know, like, I'm not one of those artists where I feel like I'm going to ignore things. I like to be tapped in and engaged. Like, Cole doesn't get on, you know, like, he says in an interview, he's like, I stepped away from that. And I think that's cool and necessary. But I fuck with what I built, and I fuck with the community I built. But I think there is a point you get to where you don't have to ignore it, but you don't have to accept it, right? And those are two different things. Just because someone brings you a gift doesn't mean you have to accept it. And that's what I learned. It's like, yeah, it's there. You feel me? I didn't ignore it. I seen it. It's received. But it's like, it ain't for me, buddy.
That's good.
You
That's
feel me?
good.
And let it rock. And
That's
everything doesn't require a response. You know, sometimes when I'll be playing tennis or pickleball, right? And somebody hit a ball too hard and it's going out. And you get to choose to let it go out, or you can hit it and fuck up your own count. You feel me? And it's like, you could have just let that one go out. Now you fucked your own score up. You know? See how you got to make everything a visual? Once a nigga get that visual,
Bro.
you in there.
Wow, that was so good, man. All right, so this is a big one, man, for creatives, artists out there, is this, we got to do it all ourselves, I feel like. I mean, we got a team, but there's so much to do, right? Like, how many different pieces of content are you working on and things like that? How do we avoid, like, burning out? You know what I mean? Because we're putting so much energy out there.
I don't know if you avoid burnout. And I don't know if burnout is a bad thing. If you burned out, that means you did it. Like, you used everything that was in you. When you go to a NASCAR race, they don't change the they sometimes they change the tires too early and now you lost the race. Because it's like, you so worried about burning. Just go, nigga. And then sometimes they get it right in time. It's like, this was the perfect time. Don't be afraid to burn out.
Okay.
That just means you running your race.
You're using up everything that's been put inside of you or something, right?
I might be burnt out. I was just on the road. I did 3-4 shows. I took care of my family. I might be a little burnt out. That just means I need rest. That's okay. That's not a bad point to get to.
No,
if you could prevent it, sure, but it's not it means you use all your fuel, nigga.
Wow.
My tank is on E because I went all the way. You feel me?
Yeah.
Refuel when you need to refuel. But until then, go. If you can go.
That's great, man. It reminds me of something, I think you said this or somebody else, about, like, if somebody's using you, just means you're useful, which is a good thing. Like, it means that you've got some talents or some gifts to put out there.
That's the only way you get a job, nigga.
Right.
The only way you get a job is if someone is willing to use you. If you don't want to be used, then you ain't never gonna have no work.
But the positive spin is that you're useful, that you got something to share and offer the world.
Exactly.
You see?
Exactly.
Positive spin on being you. Shout out.
Right, but that was my point in that statement. There's no negative to being used. There is no negative to being used. You feel me? You don't have to spin it because there's no negative to it. It's not a negative thing. I'm
gonna take this one more place here. You're like this. You were talking about when you were first starting to release content, right? You're like, there was something your pop said to you, right? Where, like, he's like, you need to release more content. Try dropping every day for 30 days. Does that sound familiar?
Yep.
And then you're like, oh shit. All right, I'm just going to swing until my arms can't swing anymore or something. You remember saying that?
Right.
So what did you learn in that process? Remind me of what you learned in that process, because at first you were just dropping a couple pieces of content a week and it wasn't catching really, right?
Yeah.
And then you did what your pop said, and you did release once a day for 30 days and it still didn't catch, right? And then you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to go crazy with it.
And that's literally what I learned. Like, no one has ever gotten worse from doing it every day. You never get worse results from doing it every day. Even when you do the bad shit. If you fuck every day, you get real good at fucking. Like, it don't matter what you doing. If you do it every day, you get great at it. You lie every day, you get great at lying. But if you do the great shit every day, you get great at it. And it just teaches you a cadence. Like, my pops was putting me in a cadence, in a pocket. Like, that's why my niggas know, like, I'll call you at a random moment. Come on, we finna go. And you gotta be ready to go. That's me setting a cadence. It ain't nothing we not ready for. Ever. Nigga, we need to get something done, it's getting done. Because that's our cadence, right? And it really taught me to just go. Yeah. It's like, why are you not? Why would I not promote what I work so hard for every single day and what I want to do for a living? I want to do this for a living. I don't want to do nothing else. So I'm going to do it every day. And if I have something to share from it, great. Now people get to witness me do it every day. You feel me? But why not? That's So Raven used to come on every day. I ain't never had a problem with it. That's actually one of the reasons why I watched so much of it, because it was on every day. It became a favorite.
That's back to planting the seeds, right? And you're going to catch that, on the other side. All right, so I want to bring it home with this. You were filming some content, and I heard it. I love what you said. You're like, I'm just at the beginning. This shit's about to get filthy. Can you just repeat that for the podcast? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
Man, I be having that moment often. Bruh, this shit has so much room to grow. Like, I sell 1,000 tickets already, just in the span of last year, I probably sold a total 20, 30, 40,000 tickets. To think that I'm just at the beginning, like if I could do 40,000 now from Vallejo and I'm in the crib and, I've made $1 million, you feel me? Like, if I could do that now at the beginning, I just feel like, nigga, what will tomorrow bring us, you feel me? Like, it can only get bigger. I don't plan on stopping. I only do more. I do more now than I've done then. Like, it's funny because we be like, some days I feel like I'm slacking on. Like, I'll be talking to T and I'll be like, man, I feel like I ain't getting as much done. It's like, nigga, I've dropped more albums now than I've ever released. You feel me?
Bro,
like,
on Spotify, there's like 5 albums in 2020.
2021, I dropped 6 albums.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy.
I already cleared that shit. I feel like 2022, I probably cleared that, you feel me? But it's like, I'm only doing more and getting better. So as long as I keep doing that, if I'm at where I'm at now, man, like, I got a estate now. We just went to Amazon, in the next 10 years, it's like, bro, facilities, nigga. Yeah. It's a whole building dedicated to just what Splash do. A whole building dedicated to what T. Like, it's the beginning for me. People just finding my shit. You feel me? I'm 27 in.
It makes me think of like Amazon started just as like a book set. They were just selling books. Yes. Now they got a whole movie studio.
Yes.
So we got to keep that. We're the same. We're the same. You did something on the Breakfast Club. You dropped a couple of freestyle bars. Can you hit us with a couple of bars? Put you on the spot. Anything. Just a nice 16.
Just a nice 16. This nigga.
This is not your typical podcast.
5 a.m. flights, regret staying up all night. I guess you really up when you reach these kind of heights. My estate gate broken. We got different kind of plights. Wise every month, cause I'm nice with the mic. Success weighing on me. Is it heavy? Is it light? Depends on the day. Depends on the night. Will I grow or will I die? It depends on the light. Depends on the water. Heal for your daughter. Heal for a mama. Heal for yourself. If you can't heal you, then you can't heal nobody else. If you running on eating, you can't feel nobody else. Eating how you eat ain't gonna kill nobody else. I know how I get to you. Fucking with your sense of self. Feeling like a little man. Cause you need a little help. Going through emotions that you deal with on the daily. I might do your best, but I'ma make you niggas pay me. For every single time that you niggas tried to play me. Overact and underpay me. Bless is the modest man, brave enough to lend a hand, get his hand bit off, brave enough to lend again, moving on to start out. I know broken trust feel like a nigga ripped your heart out. The talking ain't cheating, but that's how it start out. Hey, heavy is the head of the nigga splitting bread. Take care of yourself, cause you can't make it if you dead. Coulda had a donut, but ate an apple instead. One step forward, boy, that's how you get ahead. Crown on the edge of my king-size bed. You know that you're growing when you turning down head. I've been growing slowly. If it was love, you never owe me. This is celebration. We up, nigga. This is elevation. 10,000 shots, they hindered by hesitation. I don't even know the words. Life rap, this asset is not depreciating. In the perpetuity, that's how you build inflation. You could do this when you own your creation. Could build it how you want when you built the foundation. This kind of rap could heal a whole nation.
Bro, what are we seeing right here, bro? That's crazy. Everybody, Thank you so much for tuning in. LaRussell is a real one. I'm just so blessed right now to be here. Thank you to the crew.
Where'd you drive down from?
LA. I came up from
LA, man. He took that.
man.
Did you drive or you flew?
No, I drove.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I'm about that life. I'm about that life.
That's
it.
what it takes.
And I brought my dog with me. I was like, I get a dog sitter.
That's what it takes. If you're not willing to do whatever you have to do to make happen what you want to happen, then sit out.
You gotta be hungry. You gotta be hungry. Bring it again, bro. If you're hungry, nothing can stop you.
You can't.
Truly.
I'm
unstoppable, bro.
When I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat.
That's it. You can find a way. We hope you guys got a lot out of this. Where can they find you? Just
at LaRussell everywhere, at Good Company everywhere.
Everywhere. Go check this
You might find me just outside somewhere.
All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next episode.
Yeah.
That was wavy, bro.
That was great.
Thank you, bro.